This is Pit of Saron. I'll show you the mobs, the bosses, what they do, and how you can beat them in a pug. The goal of this first area is to run around the quarry and save 6 prisoners. For this first bull, the Shadebringer spams Shadow Bolt, the Graveblade casts Dark Rupture, an AoE around 2 players that the group should dodge. It will also use Frostbane Slash on the tank, a big hit that leaves a frost damage debuff for 8 seconds. The Tormentors inflict a huge dot and heal absorb on a player. This should be decursed if possible, otherwise heal up the absorb to break it. Its melee attacks are also amplified. The ghouls stack a disease on the tank, reducing maximum health by 1% per stack. These enforcers also stack a debuff on the tank, increasing their physical damage taken by 10%. The Dreadpulse Lich is the one to watch out for. It casts a large bolt that needs to be kicked. It will also channel Torrent of Misery on a player, doing big damage for 6 seconds. This can be dispelled. Finally, at 50%, the Lich will start pulsing AoE damage until it dies, so be careful pulling these guys. Going further in, the Leaping Geists jump at random players for big damage. The Plague Horrors cast Blight Splatter on the group. Just dodge these on the ground. They also enrage, increasing their haste and the frequency of their casts. The Rhinebone Cold Wraiths cast a large bolt that needs to be interrupted. They also cast the magic debuff permeating cold on 2 players. It's a dot and a snare for 15 seconds. The Gargoyle grabs a random player with Plunge Grip. The group needs to focus it down in order to interrupt the cast and break them out. Otherwise, the player gets dropped from a tall height and dies. It's also a root, so movement freeing abilities can easily break this as well. These Necrolytes come with 4 adds that only die when it dies. The one you need to watch for is the Arcanus Cadaver. It casts Netherburst, an AoE that must be interrupted. The Necrolyte itself will buff its allies with Necromantic Infusion, a magic buff that can be dispelled or stolen. The last mob in this area is the Proto-Drake. It casts a frontal that should be dodged. After more running around, you'll meet up with Garfrost. You should know there are 2 forges, and the one closest to the boss will always activate. The correct positioning of the tank and the group will make this fight a lot easier. On pull, you'll begin pulsating rot damage. He then throws large ores at 2 players. These do AoE on hit, so move them out of the group. Once these ores land, the tank should move next to one and let the boss break it with Ore Breaker. Once it breaks, it melts into the ground and litter the field with circles, so just dodge these. Now move the boss behind the remaining boulder. If you do this correctly, during his Glacial Overload phase, your DPS will be both protected and doing damage. However, it's not enough to just line of sight the forge. You must be physically close to the stone as well. You'll know when you're safe when this red marker above your head disappears. Right after, he'll use Cryo Stomp, a large AoE that breaks the remaining ore, creating circles that needs to be dodged and gives players a magic debuff. Then the fight repeats. The other boss around here is Ick and Krick. Krick starts the fight with Shade Shift. It's a large AoE with a dot that also summons 2 shades of Krick into the fight. All 3 Kricks are ported around the field, and the group must prioritize killing the shades first. Now the real Krick will start casting Death Bolt, a large bolt that must be interrupted. The shades channel Shadowbind, a cursed dot and snare. While this is happening, Ick will use Blight Smash on the tank, a large AoE hit that forms Blight underneath. It's better to move this hit to the edges. He'll then cast Plague Expulsion, doing big damage and spawning circles underneath players. These must be dodged. Once both shades are gone, Krick goes on to Ick and starts Lumbering Fixation. Ick will fixate on random players while spawning more circles that should be dodged. During this phase, Krick will also randomly hit players with Shadowlance. After 30 seconds, Krick will start Shadeshift again and the fight repeats. Without doing any fancy skips later, you'll need to reach 79% count on this lower level before proceeding upwards. The only new mob you'll meet is in the tunnel. While dodging the falling ice, Glacieth will cast Cryo Burst, targeting everyone with an AoE that forms ice patches on the ground. Groups should start on one side of the tunnel and slowly kite your way towards the end to escape the ground effect. It then uses Focused Guard, protecting it from damage in front of the shield and dealing a small amount of AoE. If you go behind him, however, you get 100% increased crit chance. At the end of the tunnel, you'll meet the last boss. Tyrannus starts a fight with Bone Infusion, a large AoE that leaves a dot, and activates 5 bone piles littered around him. Big adds will later spawn from these. His flying mount will then target 2 players with Rime Blast, a large AoE and dot. Targeted players need to move to any of the activated bone piles to freeze them, stopping later adds from spawning. It will also randomly hit players with a small bolt throughout this phase. The boss then hits the tank with a debuff and knocking them back, then immediately follows up with a large AoE. The tank needs to move out of the circle to avoid big damage. He'll then cast Death's Grasp, creating circles that needs to be dodged. The dragon then does a final round of Rime Blast, leading to a total of 4 frozen piles. If your group leaves more than 1 activated pile up, it's basically a wipe. At 100 energy, the boss casts Army of the Dead, spawning adds from the remaining bone piles. Each one will spawn small adds that debuff the tank, while the big plague spreader comes from the activated pile and does large AoE damage every 2 seconds. It also casts Plague Bolt, but that's easily kicked. During this phase, the dragon will also create circles on the ground that should be dodged. The boss then does Bone Infusion again, repeating the fight. I hope you found this guide informative. Keep playing, keep watching, and I'll see you next time.